Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission here is always to take this huge ocean of information, and in this case, we're talking decades of milestones, career shifts, cultural impact.
A ton of it. Discography specifics, public image changes.
Exactly. And we distill it all down into the kind of focused knowledge that gives you a real shortcut to being, well, truly informed.
And today we are really undertaking a massive analysis of I think it's fair to say, extraordinary and shape-shifting career of Miley Cyrus.
Oh, absolutely. She's just an undeniable cultural force. And she's defined by these radical, really frequent reinventions of her image and her sound.
Which brings us to the central puzzle, right? How does one artist, just one person, sustain such massive mainstream relevance and even get critical validation decades in through these incredibly dramatic, frequent shifts?
That is the central tension, isn't it? Because for most artists, if you execute one major controversial U-turn, you risk losing a huge chunk of your audience.
You alienate them.
Right. And Miley has done this multiple times, and somehow she's survived it without losing the plot or, her ability to connect on a global scale. So our deep dive today is really designed to analyze the blueprint of that appeal.
And to try and organize what can feel like chaos, we're framing her career through a concept we're calling elemental intelligence.
Right.
So we don't see her life as just a series of random, messy phases. Instead, we see it as a mastery of these cyclical, powerful transformations. It's like she consciously harnesses these fundamental forces, the elements, to break down and rebuild her identity, her art, everything.
It's the perfect lens for her. She's the ultimate pop chameleon, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
We're breaking it down into 4 key phases. We're going to start with Earth.
Okay.
Yeah, this represents that stable, even rigid foundation. The Disney mold she was built on, her roots, her origin story, and the massive machine that launched her.
And after the foundation comes the destruction, which has to be fire.
Right.
This is that phase of explosive transformation, controversy, the deliberate burning down of the old identity. It's chaotic, and it's all designed to achieve total artistic control, no matter the public backlash.
Then, after she survives the blaze, we get into air. This is the element of fluidity, intellectual communication, genre experiments, advocacy. It's a lighter, more critically engaged phase.
Yeah, focused on self-definition and really connecting with the culture around her on a different level.
Exactly. And that brings us to where she is now, which we're calling water. This is the element she currently inhabits.
So it signifies flow, resilience.
The synthesis of all her past forms and this overwhelming, globally recognized success that is cementing her legacy right now.
And to ground all this, let's start where she is at this moment just to understand the height of her current wave.
Good idea. So, born Destiny Hope Cyrus in 1992, she legally changed her name to Miley Ray Cyrus back in 2008. That was to honor her grandfather, Ronald Ray Cyrus.
And as of late 2025, she's 33 years old. She's not just famous anymore, she's critically established, a Disney legend, which is this incredible full circle moment.
It really is.
And Billboard has ranked her among the greatest pop stars of the 21st century. But I think the most important anchor for her current success is the critical validation from the Grammy Awards.
That's it. She didn't just win. She got her first 2 Grammys for that Smash Hit Flowers. And it wasn't just any award, it was Record of the Year.
And Best Pop Solo Performance. This is not just surviving the transition from child star anymore. This is entering a phase of mastery, and it's being recognized at the highest level of her industry.
Okay, so let's dig in. Let's start deep in that Earth element.
Right. This phase is all about the foundation, where she came from, the massive engine that created Hannah Montana, and just the sheer rigidity of that structure.
Yeah. She was born Destiny Hope Cyrus on November 23, 1992 in Franklin, Tennessee. Her parents are Tish, and of course, country singer Billy Ray Cyrus.
And that name itself, Destiny Hope. It's so heavy, isn't it? Her parents genuinely believed she was destined for great things.
And then the nickname Miley, which comes from Smiley. It instantly creates this public expectation of constant joy, constant performance.
The foundation is literally built on performance and this massive preordained expectation.
And it's so deeply rooted in the entertainment industry. You look at her influences. I mean, her godmother is Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, probably the most strategically savvy and beloved a celebrity in country music history.
And Party was directly involved. She was the one who steered a young Miley towards a specific music manager, making sure she had elite guidance from the very beginning.
The whole infrastructure was there. You look at her maternal siblings, Trace, Noah, Brandy. They are all established in music or acting or DJing.
It's an entertainment lineage. This path wasn't an accident for her, it was her inheritance.
And here's a small, often overlooked detail from the sources that just speaks volumes about the pressure she was under from day one. She was born with supraventricular tachycardia. It's a condition that causes an abnormally fast resting heart rate.
Wow.
And you can almost see that as a literal manifestation of the frantic, abnormal beat of the machine she was about to step into. The pressure was immense, physically and professionally.
And the catalyst for that whole machine was the family's move to Toronto in 2001. Her dad was filming the show doc.
Right.
It was there she saw a production of Mamma Mia, and at 8 years old, she turns to her father and says, "This is what I want to do, Daddy. I want to be an actress."
And that was it. That was the moment Destiny Hope found her destiny.
She immediately started pursuing singing and acting lessons, getting the training that would solidify her skills for what was coming.
And when the Hannah Montana audition came up, she actually tried out for the best friend role first.
I remember that. But the team saw something more in her. They cast her as the lead, as Miley Stewart, because of her singing and what they called her goofy acting abilities.
Even though initially they thought she was too small and too young for the part, they didn't see a kid, they saw a potential franchise.
And what a franchise it became. Launch was, well, it was seismic. Hannah Montana premiered in March 2006 to the largest audience ever for a Disney Channel program at that time.
So this wasn't just a hit show. It established a global, multi-billion-dollar entity, and it transformed her overnight into a teen idol. That's the ultimate earthbound, roll-rigid, massive, and seemingly unshakable.
The commercial structure was totally unprecedented. She was the first act in the Walt Disney Company to have simultaneous deals in TV, film, consumer products, and music all at once.
And it all hit. The show's soundtrack topped the Billboard 200, and then her own solo debut, Meet Miley Cyrus, did the same thing in 2007.
The acceleration is just staggering. I mean, look at the raw metrics of this foundation. By the time she was 16 in 2009, she was the youngest artist in history to have 4 #1 albums on the Billboard 200.
4. That includes the soundtracks and her solo stuff like Breakout. That's a level of dominance that most mature artists never, ever achieve. The Earth Foundation was made of platinum and concrete.
And the live shows just solidified that structure. The Best of Both Worlds tour in 2007-08 was a phenomenon.
The demand was so intense that Ticketmaster officials famously compared it to the ticketing frenzy for the Beatles or Elvis.
I mean, that's another level. She grossed over $54 million, won the Breakthrough Act Award at the Billboard Touring Awards. It proved her power was way beyond the screen.
But that immense pressure, the pressure required to maintain such a rigid foundation, it always leads to cracks.
Always. You can't keep an artist with her kind of energy contained in that smiley mold forever. The first shifts started happening really early.
In 2008, you have the hacking incident. Photos, allegedly of her in her underwear or a swimsuit, were leaked online.
And then right after that, the highly publicized Annie Leibovitz photo shoot for Vanity Fair.
Oh yeah. The critics immediately jumped on it, claiming she was topless, even though it was later clarified she was just wrapped in a bed sheet.
But the clarification didn't matter at all, did it? The controversy itself became the product.
Absolutely. The incident dramatically increased her fame. Her photo sale value soared, reportedly up to $2,000 per picture.
And that's such a critical early observation. Fighting back, even just a little, against that rigid system immediately translated into extreme commercial value.
It was a vital lesson, and one you can see she internalized. Controversy feeds the beast.
And musically, she was already pushing back. Her 2008 album, Breakout, had her co-writing 8 of the songs.
Which was a huge statement at the time.
A huge statement. She explicitly said she wanted that record to prove her legitimacy as a songwriter. You can see the artistic desire to break free was already there, right under the surface.
And the final moments of this Earth phase are just perfectly encapsulated in Party in the USA.
The perfect transitional song.
It's from the 2009 EP, The Time of Our Lives. It went 14 times platinum, and she explicitly called that EP a transitioning album. She was telling her audience what was coming next.
It was the perfect anthem for that moment. It celebrated her American roots, that Earth Foundation, but the sound itself was already signaling that the ground was shifting beneath her feet.
The structure was about to be put to the torch.
Okay, so now we enter the fire phase. This is roughly 2010 through 2015, and this is the deliberate, often chaotic act of combustion.
She knew that to fully claim her adult identity and her artistic control, she had to burn down the multi-billion-dollar teen idol franchise she was trapped inside.
It wasn't immediate, though. It was a gradual burn. starting around 2010 with these attempts at a more mature image. She starred in the film The Last Song,
which got negative reviews, but it was still a box office hit. Commercially, she was still invincible at that point, but artistically, the shift was becoming necessary.
At the same time, she releases her third studio album, Can't Be Tamed.
Right, and this album shifted her sound toward dance pop. And the lyrics, the performances, they were all designed to shock.
That performance on Britain's Got Talent, where she pretended to kiss a female backup dancer, that caused a huge controversy.
And she descended it, but the key metric here is sales. Can't Be Tamed became her first studio album that did not top the Billboard 200.
Right, it sold, 106,000 copies in its first week? Which is still a lot, but for her.
For an artist who was guaranteed a #1 spot before, it was a commercial slip. But maybe it was a necessary artistic sacrifice. It proved the wholesome audience was shrinking, which forced her to find a new one.
And the fire really started to heat up with the media's scrutiny of her personal life. The specific detail here is that December 2010 video.
The salvia video, yeah. At age 18, she's caught on video smoking salvia with a bong. That fueled a massive public controversy and was probably the first unambiguous evidence that the Hannah Montana era was well and truly dead.
And even when she announced a hiatus from music to focus on acting, the controversies just followed her. They were almost feeding the flames. You brought that incredible detail about Hotel Transylvania.
It's just wild. She was dropped from the animated film after photos came out of her licking a penis-shaped birthday cake for her then-boyfriend, Liam Hemsworth.
When you think about the absurdity of that reason, an animated film dropping a voice actor over a novelty cake, it just shows the intense moral panic.
And the rigid, almost puritanical expectations the public still held for the former Disney darling.
That kind of pressure cooker has to explode eventually.
And it did. In 2013, with the Bangers era, this was the nuclear phase of her transformation.
She made some crucial structural decisions. She hired Britney Spears' former manager, Larry Rudolph,
which signaled a commitment to pure pop stardom, and she signed with RCA Records.
The artistic pivot was total. She aggressively shifted her genre, working with these influential hip-hop producers like Pharrell Williams and Mike Will Made It.
She was aiming for a Dirty South feel, but infused with pop structure. This wasn't a tentative exploration, it was a total commitment to sonic change, designed for maximum disruption.
And that disruption peaked at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards.
Oh, the VMAs, the performance with Robin Thicke, the twerking, the simulated sex acts with a foam finger. It was a cultural bomb.
Reviewers didn't just dislike it, they called it disturbing, cringeworthy, a train wreck.
Which means it achieved exactly the level of media frenzy needed to completely obliterate her past image.
It was such a calculated catalyst. It was designed to ensure no one could ever see her as Hannah Montana again. But if the goal was total artistic control, what about the public warning she got from Sinead O'Connor?
Right.
O'Connor wrote that Cyrus was allowing herself to be pimped and would obscure your talent. How does she navigate that specific critique while still maintaining control?
That is the key question for this phase. She took the critique, she acknowledged the chaos, but she ultimately kept control by insisting the chaos was hers.
She was driving it.
She was driving the controversy, not just reacting to it, and then she immediately monetized the fire that she had created.
Exactly. The shock was immediately profitable. Wrecking Ball was released the very same day as the VMA debacle.
And the video. That infamous video of her swinging naked was viewed over 19 million times in 24 hours. That visual shock, tied to a powerful, emotionally resonant song, just rocketed her to commercial dominance.
Wrecking Ball became her first U.S. Hot 100 #1 single. It held the spot for 3 weeks.
And the Bangers album itself debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with massive sales, 270,000 copies. The fire didn't destroy her career, it rebuilt it on new, more profitable, and artistically independent terms.
She was declared Artist of the Year by MTV in 2013, the most talked about pop star by Billboard.
And this era is now seen as critical because it cemented her reputation as a trendsetter for blending urban and pop influences, a blueprint a lot of artists followed.
Billboard later ranked Bangers as one of the most influential albums in the decade, noting that it was the release where, quote, Cyrus took control of her public persona.
The fire phase then culminates in this highly experimental, chaotic aftermath in 2015. But first, the physical toll of all that chaotic energy became clear.
Right. During the Bangers tour, which was successful but also controversial, the entrance was her sliding down a giant replica of her own tongue.
Can't forget that.
She was hospitalized in Kansas City. An extreme allergic reaction to an antibiotic, cephalexin.
The body literally rebelled against the frenetic pace of the Fire era. And the art that followed perfectly reflected that chaotic energy. Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pits.
The 2015 Surprise album, a free experimental psychedelic record she produced largely by herself and Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips.
And he compared the sound to Pink Floyd and Portishead. This project defines the Fire aftermath.
She was so committed to this experimental, boundary-pushing sound that she was willing to enter contract with RCA Records if they refused to let her release the album for free.
She fought to give away an album that defied all commercial expectations. It just confirms that her priority was artistic freedom, not chart success during this period of rebirth.
And that completely self-directed art is what led Rebecca Nicholson of The Guardian to draw that powerful connection, calling her the Madonna of her generation.
It wasn't about the music genre, but the approach.
Exactly. A deliberately provocative but self-directed use of sexuality and constant image overhaul that wasn't being dictated by male industry figures. The Disney Earth had been completely purged by the fire.
So having completely burned down the foundation and survived that conflagration, the next phase is air.
Right. And this is characterized by intellectual and stylistic fluidity. Clear communication about her identity, her beliefs, genre experimentation, and major advocacy work.
The smoke has settled, and now she's free to flow and connect intellectually.
We see a major shift towards self-awareness and intentional clarity, starting with the Younger Now era in 2017.
The music itself marked a full decade after her solo debut, and it was a distinct return to a more country pop sound. It felt like she was breathing out after the intensity of Bangers.
But the biggest change wasn't the sound, it was the clarity of mind she demanded. For the Younger Now press tour, she announced she was quitting cannabis.
And she specifically said she wanted to be super clear when discussing the record. That intentional step towards intellectual focus is pure air intelligence prioritizing communication over chaotic experience.
And that clarity of thought extended into her mainstream career choices. She stepped into a role focused on nurturing talent. She became a coach on The Voice for seasons 11 and 13.
And became the youngest coach in the series' history. She shifted her public persona from attention-seeking provocateur to established, generous mentor.
But what is most emblematic of the air phase, I think, is her transparency about her personal identity and self-definition.
Yeah. She came out to her mother at age 14 and publicly identifies as gender fluid. She's openly stated she is, quote, literally open to every single thing that is consenting and doesn't involve an animal, and everyone is of age.
That refusal to be confined by labels. Even after she married Liam Hemsworth, she publicly confirmed she still identified as queer. That's the definition of air's fluidity.
It's an intellectual stance that connects directly to her advocacy work through the Happy Hippie Foundation, which she founded in 2014.
Right. Her refusal to be boxed in, whether artistically or personally, is what fuels her mission.
And the Happy Hippie Foundation is the engine for that critical engagement with the world. It focuses on fighting injustice for homeless youth, LGBTQ youth, and other vulnerable populations.
And this isn't just passive celebrity endorsement. It's hands-on, deeply focused work.
You look at the specific actions. After the 2018 Woolsey fire, which is ironically a fire hitting during her air phase, she made a massive $500,000 donation to the Malibu Foundation.
And earlier, in 2015, the hashtag InstaPride campaign celebrated transgender and gender-expansive people by featuring their portraits and sharing their stories.
She's using her massive communication platform to give a voice to the vulnerable.
Stylistically, this phase saw her genre hopping just accelerate. She was testing the versatility of her voice across all these different musical styles.
She even used acting as a form of social comment, starring in that 2019 Black Mirror episode.
Rachel, Jack, and Ashley, too.
Yeah, playing a fictional pop star whose plot had these eerie resemblances to the real, unfolding conservatorship issues surrounding Britney Spears.
So she's using her art to comment on the same kind of rigid corporate structure that she herself had endured in her Earth phase, all while being a vocal advocate for the hashtag Free Britney movement.
That intellectual consistency is what defines the air element.
Musically, the She Is Coming EP in 2019 was just a demonstration of radical fluidity, collaborations with RuPaul, Sway Lee, Ghostface Killah, a completely unclassifiable mix.
But the next definitive artistic declaration was Plastic Hearts in 2020, a total pivot into rock and glam rock.
And she cited influences like Metallica and, very tellingly, Britney Spears' key influence on her shift to a more aggressive, self-possessed sound.
She didn't just dabble in rock, she owned it. Plastic Hearts featured these heavyweight collaborations with legends like Billy Idol and Joan Jett, which confirmed her successful entry into the genre.
And importantly, her covers of songs like Blondie's Heart of Glass and The Cranberry Zombie went viral by popular demand. It demonstrated that her flexible voice could seamlessly occupy these legendary musical spaces.
Clash magazine praised that versatility, noting she could seamlessly fit whatever genre she chooses to tackle. The air element is about proving that the core artistic identity, her voice, her talent, is adaptable and unbreakable no matter what vessel it inhabits.
But underlying all that stylistic fluidity were these profound personal losses that influenced her emotional communication.
The Woolsey fire in 2018, which literally destroyed her in Hemsworth's home, was a physical manifestation of the fire element returning to wipe out her domestic foundation.
And that, combined with their subsequent divorce in 2020, served as the ultimate catalyst for her canceling the rest of the She Is EPs.
She reflected that the loss of the house was actually the impetus for the marriage itself, a decision made because, as she said, no one is promised the next day or the next.
The physical home was gone, which forced her into this space of pure intellectual and emotional resilience.
And the release of Midnight Sky in 2020, which coincided with her split from Cody Simpson, thematically reflected this new communicated independence.
That central theme, I don't belong to anyone, was the ultimate statement of air. She's completely unmoored, free to define her own trajectory.
We also saw her intentionally reinforcing the bond with her audience during this time. The 2022 live album, Attention, Miley Live, was described as curated by the fans for the fans.
Yeah, featuring deep cuts and 2 unreleased tracks. That reciprocal relationship, listening to her audience while clearly communicating her own independence, is a perfect hallmark of Air.
And then the ultimate cyclical validation. She reunited with Disney.
Hosted the Endless Summer Vacation Backyard Sessions on Disney Plus in 2023, and then most notably won the Disney Legends Award in 2024 at age 31.
The youngest recipient ever. She re-entered the Earth that she had left, not as a child product, but as a critically validated legend who had mastered all the external elements.
Which brings us to today, and we enter the water phase, starting in 2023.
This element signifies flow, complete resilience, a synthesis of all the previous phases, and most powerfully, this tidal wave of global recognition that just overcomes all the past controversy.
This current wave really began with the album Endless Summer Vacation in 2023. She described it as her love letter to LA, reflecting the profound physical and mental growth she experienced.
And reviewers weren't just impressed by the music. They saw it as a recap of her career's 15 plus years. They noted how she breezed through genres with the ease of a well-seasoned tourist.
That is the ultimate demonstration of air fluidity culminating in water flow.
And the global impact of the lead single, Flowers, wasn't just massive, it was a phenomenon.
Debuted at #1 globally and on the Hot 100. That was her first U.S. #1 single in a full decade since Wrecking Ball.
But the difference is huge. Wrecking Ball was fire. It was shock and controversy. Flowers is water. It's resilience and self-love.
And let's talk about what those specific numbers actually mean for her legacy, because they are just staggering.
Flowers became the fastest track to surpass 1 billion plays on Spotify. It hit that mark in just 112 days at the time.
That's not just popularity, that's cultural saturation speed.
But here is the most important data point, I think, that speaks to the water phase's deep multi-generational reach.
Go on.
Flowers holds the record for the longest-running #1 song on any Billboard airplay chart. It dominated the adult contemporary chart for an unprecedented 57 weeks.
57 weeks.
Yeah.
That specific chart dominance indicates a profound fundamental shift in her audience.
Completely.
The Fire and Air phases were primarily targeting a younger, demo pop, rock, streaming, but dominating the adult contemporary chart for over a year means she moved way beyond her initial fan base. She achieved complete cross-generational mainstream acceptance.
She's no longer a former child star, she's a foundational pop fixture.
Commercially, this wave was just undeniable. According to the IFPI, Flowers was the best-selling song globally in 2023, number 1 in 37 countries.
This commercial dominance proved that all those previous phases, the self-directed transformation, the genre experimentation, it ultimately paid off with unparalleled mainstream mastery.
And that success was formally validated at the highest level, the Grammy Triumph. She won Record of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance for Flowers.
It wasn't just a career boost, it was critical validation for the resilience she had shown over 2 decades. And she even made the moment part of the art.
Oh yeah, famously changing the lyric live during her performance to shout, "I just won my first Grammy."
Her evolution continues right into this moment with her 9th studio album, Something Beautiful, which came out in 2025.
And we see the water flowing into this conscious direction of healing and social purpose. She described this album as a progressive pop record focused on healing themes.
She called the sound hypnotic. This artistic vision for something beautiful is maybe the most thoughtfully articulated purpose of her career yet.
She described the album as an attempt to medicate somewhat of a sick culture through music. And she cited inspiration from Pink Floyd's highly ambitious, concept-driven album, The Wall.
So she's moving her focus from personal transformation, which is fire, to cultural application and collective soothing, which is water.
The scope of her ambition is expanding dramatically to match her mastery. To go with this introspective, ambitious album, she released a musical film of the same name,
which premiered at the Tribeca Festival and was called a one-of-a-kind pop opera by Billboard. She's not just releasing singles anymore, she is creating these immersive cinematic experiences.
And we've also seen this resurgence of highly intimate surprise performances in places like the Chateau Marmont and the $3 Bill Club in Brooklyn.
These sets feature the new tracks, but also a conscious revival of classics like The Climb. This intimate connection where she's sharing her new flow state directly with her most dedicated fans is a beautiful balance to her global chart dominance.
And her position as a constant collaborator just further cements her status at the pinnacle of the music landscape.
Recent collaborations include Two Most Wanted with Beyoncé, which won a Grammy for Best Country Duo Group Performance, marking her 3rd career win.
And that reworked Pharrell Williams collaboration, Dr. Guerra, Work It Out, an outtake from the Bangers era that was finally completed.
So she is simultaneously linking her past creative impulses with her present mastery, flowing across genres and artists with total ease.
She has absolutely earned the nickname the Pop Chameleon due to these continual reinventions. Billboard put her at number 15 on their greatest pop stars of the 21st century.
And they noted her enduring significance, saying no matter what style she's trying out, at the end of the day, she's always still just being Miley.
And she's the inspiration cited by younger boundary-pushing artists like Chappell Roan, Lil Nas X, and Troye Sivan. Her influence is structural and lasting.
So let's bring it full circle and review the 4 elements. Miley Cyrus's career trajectory is the ultimate demonstration of elemental intelligence. It was not random, it was strategic destruction followed by resilient rebuilding.
We saw the Earth Foundation, built meticulously by that monolithic Disney machine, a necessary, rigid structure that created the global platform and the teen idol persona.
That foundation proved unsustainable and was consumed by the fire of her early 20s. The chaotic, commercial, and critically explosive Bangers era, which served the purpose of seizing total control of her narrative, her image, and her talent.
She then refined that raw energy into air, mastering fluidity across diverse genres, from hip-hop to country to glam rock, and communicating her identity and her philanthropic mission so clearly through the Happy Hippie Foundation.
Prioritizing advocacy and critical thought over mere spectacle. And finally, she has settled into water, the element of enduring flow and resilience.
Resulting in this current, record-breaking, multi-generational success with Flowers and her ambitious new focus on cultural healing with projects like Something Beautiful.
She navigated the exact adversity predicted by Donny Osmond way back in 2008. He wrote that she would want to change her image and that change will be met with adversity.
And she didn't just survive that adversity. She used the very criticism, the controversy, the constant challenge as the essential fuel to redefine herself over and over again, always succeeding entirely on her own terms.
We've watched her transform from a Disney teen idol, a chaotic pop disruptor, a rock goddess, a queer superhero, and now a global hitmaker focused on artistic maturity and healing.
So, given her explicit goal for Something Beautiful is to medicate somewhat of a sick culture through music, and her demonstrated mastery of this cyclical transformation.
The provocative thought for you, the listener, is this. We've identified her ultimate goal as healing and cultural application. If water has brought her flow and global mastery, but she needs to address a sick culture, what element is the pop chameleon preparing to harness next?
Does the cycle demand a return to a new, stronger Earth foundation, or maybe a new, transformative fire? The question is, where does the ultimate pop star evolve from the stage of mastery?
It's the question that ensures we will all be tuning in for the next deep dive.
That was Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.